Hello everybody. I'm going to go ahead and re-record this section. The first video I put up was terrible, and so I wanted to take a moment and go ahead and put a better version of this up here so that my students can actually listen to it and not want to puke. All right, so we're going to be talking about the meninges today. This is section 9.11, the beginning of the new unit of notes. And we will actually finish at the end of 9.12 with this video today. All right, so your meninges are membranes. Each one of those membranes is located beneath the soft tissue, all right, beneath the bone. And I don't know why I said soft tissue there. It's between the bones, all right? And it is technically soft tissue because it's membrane. All right, you have actually 3 layers that go into keeping your nervous system safe. The first one, the outer layer, is called the dura mater. It is your most outer layer. It has blood vessels in it. Underneath that is your arachnoid mater. There are no blood vessels there. It's in between the arachnoid, or between the dura mater and the pia mater, and it looks like a spider web. Very often when you peel away the dura mater, it will tear the arachnoid with it. And then finally, pia mater, however you want to say that, that's your inner membrane. It actually sits on the nerves and the blood vessels themselves. So if you looked up here, this right here is your skull. Your dura mater would be this gray line here. Your arachnoid mater is this layer right here. It looks like spider webs. That's why they call it arachnoid. And then sitting on the actual brain itself is the pia mater there. If we look at a different view of it, just a different picture, you'd have your skin. Underneath that would be the periosteum, which is the soft layer that covers the bone. And then you would get the bone of the skull or the cranium. Underneath that would be the dura mater, then the arachnoid mater, and then the pia mater. All right, and you can look at it this way as well. Your actual dura mater has a top and a bottom to it. The peritoneal or meningeal depends on what it's touching there. And then arachnoid, and your brain is the cerebral cortex there that we get into. All right, if you wanted to look at it in real life, you have your skin right here. You would have aponeuroses there, if you remember what those are. And then the periosteum. And then this is the actual skull right here. Then this would be your dura mater. Your arachnoid mater would be this red stuff that's up in there. And then pia mater would actually sit on the brain itself there. All right, so if you peel this away, this is the dura mater being peeled away. You can see a membrane right here. That's the pia mater there. Cerebral spinal fluid. Obviously, the brain has to have its own fluid in it. And so you have right here, this space right here is called a sinus. It's an open area. And that open area happens to be filled with cerebral spinal fluid. The spinal fluid acts as a cushion, and it actually extends from like the arachnoid mater up into, do you see how the arachnoid mater comes up into this spot right here? All right, that allows the cerebral spinal fluid to flow and circulate throughout the nervous system. It actually flows all the way down to the spine. And so underneath the brain, there's not really any way for blood to escape if it escapes the blood vessels. And so a really scary type of thing happens called a hematoma. In this case, it's subdural, which means it's below the dura space. And so this person got some kind of blood vessel broken in their brain, and you can see on the x-ray what it looks like there. Now, the problem with this is basically a giant blood clot, and it puts a lot of pressure on the brain. And so they actually have to go in and cut open the whole scalp to pull this out. This is an actual video of it happening. It's very graphic. You do not have to watch it. I show it every year, and students really seem to like it. It's fun. You can actually see after they remove the giant blood clot, that there's a little tiny stream of blood squirting out of a blood vessel, and they actually use a cauterizing tool to stop that from leaking. All right, this is funny, makes me laugh. Be grateful neurosurgeons don't actually poke your brain while they're doing it. But this surgery, not all surgeries are gross. This one's really cool. This is a video of a guy who's a professional violinist, and he started to have tremors, however you say that, in his hand, and it caused him to not be able to play the violin anymore, which meant he couldn't earn a living. And so doctors thought that they could fix him, but in order to find out exactly where they needed to put the electrodes, they had to have him awake and playing his violin while they did the brain surgery. So check this one out. It's really good. I enjoyed it. All right. So section 912 covers the spinal cord. Your spinal cord actually passes down through the vertebral canal, and there's actually 31 segments there. You can actually see them all right here. Each segment has one pair of spinal nerves, which means it comes out on each side of the spine there. So one would go to the right-hand side and one would go to the left-hand side. And this just cracks me up. All right. So enlargements, there are certain portions of the spinal cord that have very large nerves going into them, and lots of them. And so they need more space in order to handle that amount of nervous system coming into them. And so in this case, you have at the top what is called a cervical enlargement. That supplies the nerves to the upper limbs. And it's actually found in the upper neck right there. And it's because you have all of these arm and muscles that all are nerves that come out of here. They're very large. And when they come back, they need the space to be able to connect to the nervous system. You have a similar one down here in the lumbar area. That's where your legs go. And those supply the lower limbs, and it's larger to accommodate those larger nerves. All right. And so an impulse has to travel from this, where, let's say this is your arm out here, and you stick your arm on a hot plate. That's what we've used to describe everything before. That signal of pain comes straight to the spinal cord. The spinal cord actually will send a motor response twitch back to get your hand to pull off of it. But at the same time, it will send that signal, that sensory signal, up into the brain, where the brain makes a registry and says, okay, what do we need to do? We need to send a motor impulse down, and it sends it down. All right. And so you have this flowing. Watch this video. The lady's monotone, but it's really good. And then reflex arcs will pass right through the spinal cord. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything too difficult about that one. This one just cracks me up. When you get a chance, go ahead and read this. It's funny. It makes me laugh. And that pretty much sums up the first video. All right. There's not a whole lot as far as notes. Everything has already been filled out on your packet for you for this first section. Tomorrow, or in the next video anyway, you will actually have to write some stuff, but that's in the next video. All right. If you have